Okay, we can kind of see it there. Cool. Let's give it a quick wipe down. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Yeah, so unfortunately, I can't get hold of George and hope nothing bad's happened to him. He seemed like a fairly nice chap, to be honest. He was happy to help us out. And I think the website's still going, so something about his son. I've tried messaging him, sent him a few emails, and like I said, I've not had any response. So whether he's not, I don't know. For whatever reason, I think they're still selling the gas fired traction engine. This was kind of like a well, as he was building and coming up with the blueprints and making it up as he went along, kind of thing. He was sort of, the moment he'd got them, he was sending them on to me to kind of carry on. So I think we got to like a similar stage. He'd obviously made the boiler, which I haven't yet. And again, I've been going back and forth with the idea of that. The hazards. But I don't know, I think I take my time and everything. I mean, this is what I do. I'm a fabricator engineer in full time. So I not know how not to be daft and to test it. I'm going to start doing a bit more research and getting in touch with people in the know. But anyway, right, I'll give you a little quick tour. So, we were up to last video, I think it was. I was cutting out this tender plates here. They were stuck together. Obviously, working out all the radiuses for the shape, and that was all being cut out. Well, since then, you can see very well. I'll bring you in. Hold on, just adjust the camera. Excuse the poor lighting. So along here, and all the way along here it matches. That's a 6x6 square stock. And I've actually just formed that to follow the trace of this, shy of 3mm. Because we have, obviously at work we have all the guillotines and the press brakes and stuff, so it's dead handy for making sheet work. But obviously I don't have that at home. And I don't have a oxypropane setup. I have a forge, which isn't ideal for small pieces. It's not so bad when you're doing the bar and that. So you can see there, this is quite a nice snug fit. As you can see, I've had to do a load of relief cuts here, obviously. You see them? To get that form. The tender. This. And do it on. Bear with me. There we go. So, and I was obviously discussing with George. I was saying I wasn't sure if it was okay to go ahead and weld that in. I know it's a bit of a cop out, obviously, because it's all riveted together here. But these sides are riveted on, obviously, all the way along. And then just for a bit of insurance, for good measure, I've obviously welded the inside of TIG welded the top points. And I've done little stitches, say, 25mm every so often to hold it together. And another thing that I've made, which I'll dig out now. So that's how we're looking. It's pretty neat. Pretty chuffed with it so far. Obviously the phosphor bronze bearings. These were a solid bar phosphor bronze and brass sheet. I think you can kind of see there. Apologies for the terrible filming. And these are mounted on. And that's obviously what the axle will run on. Now, I was told by a friend these actually have a spiral cut in them. It's kind of like an oil way to allow them to be lubricated, and you have an oiler on top. You have your it's got your gear train on your lathe. Really like a large thread, essentially, like a really large thread. So as you make the cut, you get that full spiral without getting to the end, and obviously you need to have two relief cuts at the front and the back, which doesn't allow the oil to obviously just pour out. figured, I mean, I'll probably still drill these and fit little oilers on them, I'd imagine. Or just make sure I lubricate them as I'm running it. It's phosphor bronze, so it should be self-lubricating. I think it would be similar to brass. I mean, I don't know. It's not every day I get to work with that. So they're both set up. They've been machined exact. I've had the micrometer on them. I can't remember exactly what. I think it was 3/4 inch bar. Obviously, I was going off all these measurements. George has done them. One second, let's change the angle. So George has done these. I'm trying to move you back. Hard trying to get. Still trying to figure out where is the best place to film and all that kind of thing. You know, it's still not quite there. Hold on. Just finished work, so it's, well, always scruffy, but you know. So obviously they're phosphor bronze, 1/4 inch, and then obviously I was talking to a friend. They've been using BA bolts and nuts and everything, and imperial rivets. One of my mates was like, "Why don't you just?" I mean, George said at the time the good thing about the like model engineering size threads, obviously the slightly thicker. So obviously it's easier to tap, you're less likely to damage and snap stuff. But to be honest, I'd do it again. With this not being a generic style traction engine, it's kind of like a hobby makeshift one that you sort of, for me anyway, making up as I go along. I'm obviously going through the instructions and the diagrams I got off George. He said, to be fair, the steam model, you can just times it by 1.5 and that will give you your measurements. And certain things you obviously have to change, it being coal, not gas. But yeah, they were saying, why not just stick with metric? Probably a lot of people are probably screaming at the thought of that, but it's damn sight cheaper on parts. I mean, these brass, even the steel if anything were more expensive for the BA threads, and then obviously got by the taps, the drill sizes. You know, it would have been much easier for me, at least with my kind of arsenal of tools. It's all in metric. So maybe that's the next one if I come to making another one. I'd love to make a larger model, but then there lies the problem with the boiler. I'd have to maybe buy a boiler and make the model then the same spec as a standard traction engine. But yeah, the last thing I've got is the towing strap. So obviously I've got the towing strap in now hooked around. This still needs a piece putting in there, so I figured if I weld this in, obviously I'll just rivet that and that'll be solid. Now I think I might have so here we are, is the phosphor bronze sort of lump that I had, which I used to make these bearings. It was a bit of a learning curve doing this. Obviously you have to get a hell of a lot of heating. Silver solder. Even soldering in general, you know, I've had a bit of a crash course of doing my bathroom. And it's totally different. But, you know, it's all good to know, isn't it? So, that's the sort of stuff I had to work with. Kind of see it there. And then, obviously, the towing strap, which I'll have to look through my old phone. Because since starting this, I've obviously changed phones. I had a piece of, I think it was 20mm. It was 20mm stock, square stock, 20 by 20. So I started off with. I can't remember, I bought like I don't know, it was a 200mm or something length of this, black bar. And obviously then machined it down to that. And this is kind of your towing hitch then for eventually when you get your trailer to sit on the back, obviously to operate it. And that is just a solid block. You can kind of see what I've done. So it's obviously been drilled out, engineer's die to mark them out. And you can kind of see the faces. It still needs cleaning up with a file. And this has all been milled off. And then I milled this in steps. So obviously milled it either side. So milled along there, to give me a flat face, which was sort of a step line there. And then I came in with the mill. Either side, almost like a pyramid setup, if you imagine. So it almost looked like a brick wall. The steps, like that. And then I just gradually took the file to it. Yeah, so really chuffed with that. That's turned out really nice. There's a lot of hours in that, to be fair. And it's the same kind of thing with these builds. You don't realise at the time. I mean, I knew what I was getting myself in for. George, sorry. I think he had in the manual. You know, someone who's quite competent and used to using tools and had the equipment. I'm sure it was something like 100 hours all in to make it, which, you know, is, for me, like a lot of the time it's not necessarily making the stuff, it was kind of trying to process the drawings and the kind of, it's how you interpret them. You know, you make something and as soon as you've done it you instantly think, ah, bugger, or yeah, I understand it now, it's dead obvious. Like this, for example, working out for the crankshaft, I wasn't entirely sure with the drawings, but yeah, like I said, it's all good fun. So that there, fixed to the back of this strap here, so like that, along another piece of this which will be tied in one unit, and obviously the wheels, I'll stick that into another video as well. But yeah, I thought you'd all want to know where I've been up to. And again, it's nice just to kind of check in. I'm trying to make this a regular thing, you know, not necessarily the traction engine. Yeah, I want to keep people updated on that. That's kind of like a hobby thing I get to do every now and then. Other projects as well I've got going on, loads of stuff. I want to kind of start trying to film it and document it, because it's kind of what I love to do. Known for not being much of a social, you know, kind of like to keep to myself and make things and yeah. I thought, what the hell, why not start a channel, start filming it? I love watching other people's channels. There's like to Colin Furr, he's a fellow in Canada who's big into his tree work. Billy Ray, Bucking Billy Ray. This old Tony, I'm sure a lot of you know of him. Just, you know, interesting videos, you learn a lot from him to kind of motivate you to want to do stuff yourself. Hence why I've got all this gear. So yeah, maybe hopefully something, you know, a few of you might appreciate it and enjoy it, and get to know some of you as well, maybe. Everyone's cup of tea, I suppose. But I'm into all sorts. Like I said, I used to make traditional archery, bows. Anyway, I'm waffling on now, so I'm going to end this video. Yeah, so, you know, it's still going on in the background. I just wanted to make sure that you guys could see it. And I will see if I can dig up some of the footage, at least some of the photos and stuff. Some of you might enjoy that. And if you've got any questions as well, you know, I mean, by all means, I don't know an awful lot, but maybe between, you know, a few of us, or, you know, to get to this stage at least, I'm happy to help you. Or maybe you've got some advice. And yeah, it's always good to have feedback, I guess. Okay, cheers guys, and I'll probably see you in the next video.